You hear me now? Yeah! How's everybody doing?
Fired up!
Wow. What a fired up crowd. I'll tell you, one of the secrets to the business is be excited.
Yeah!
And there's definitely an excited team here.
Yeah!
In fact, as far as excitement, I mean, you guys have it easy. I'll tell you, just sitting there, watching the team and everybody that came up for training or awards or all that good stuff there. I tell you, the easy way to do this business is you saw them up here. You get up Sophonia, right? You remember his excitement? You bring up Eric. You remember his excitement? And Don Joseph. And then just top it off with Tiara. And you just take them around wherever you go. Everybody's going to join you. Everybody's going to join you. And the best part of of anything you'll get from me is that I know how to train in this industry after 24 years. And I can tell you that that right there is a secret. Just keeping it simple, and having their excitement level. I would use that all day long. I'd be like, man, that was pretty unbelievable. And, before I go any further, I see some of my friends that came in a little bit late, because I've never seen anything like that. That keeps everybody on track. They tried to, right? Okay. How long? How much time? The 6 hours okay? Let's set it for 6 hours. 6 hours. Don't worry, we'll bring you food to your table, and we got sleeping bags. We'll take care of you. Thank you so much, Washington, D.C., and the National Capital Area, Maryland, Virginia. This is part of the history of TAN right here, history in the making. And there would be no event, zero. There would be no East Coast Regional without all of you. Without all, 6 hours, there you go. Hold that up and show the crowd in the back that. This is your future. We got 6 hours on it. Somebody take a picture of that. All right, so over the next 6 hours, it's going to be fun. But I was going to say, no, I really want to thank the whole team putting this together. There'd be no such thing as an East Coast Regional without everybody here. So, thank you so much. And why this is so important that you did this, because just by putting it together, you've changed somebody's life. And I'm telling you right now, even if it's just one person that gets it today, one person in this room, that pivotal point in their life, it can be unbelievable. And a lot of you know Amy and I's story, and I'm not going to go 6 hours, so I'm not going to give you the whole, from the beginning story, but I have to tell you that our life changed coming into a room like this, and seeing what this was, and we had never heard of network marketing, and it absolutely changed our lives in an incredible way. But more importantly than that, thousands of people's lives, hundreds of thousands of people's lives, all around, from our team, from the distributorship we built, from the network we built, people that did not have a chance, people that couldn't do what they really wanted to do in life, were able to because somebody invited us to an event like this, and it happened to be a pivotal point in our lives. It was the right timing in our lives that it made a difference. It gave our family freedom, but it gave a bunch of other families freedom because it gave our family freedom as well. It gave a bunch of other families freedom. And then you go fast forward to 12 years ago when we started this company, and how many thousands of lives of people have changed because of this company, but it all had to start somewhere, and that was that first pivotal moment, that first room that we walked into November 18th of 1989. So, you have no idea. Yeah, you have no idea, and feel free to clap. I love clapping. all about the energy, like I said, you gotta be excited, no question about it. And there's so much for us to be excited about because, you can't do this at your job and your other profession and your other, professional businesses, but you can do it right here. We can all be kids again, have a good time, have fun, change people's lives, make money in the process, right? So understanding that this microphone may go off and on, it's okay. Nothing's going to stop us. We're on a mission here. We have an incredible mission. And when I see everybody, and some of you, I've seen you at the previous 10 University and all the way back to the pre-launch event and stuff like that. And I have to tell you, whether you understand this or not, hopefully you'll understand this very soon. We're just getting started. You have no idea the position you're in. The company that Amy and I joined in November of 1989, it was already in its 5th year. It was 5 years, running. And I was always thinking, man, I wish I would have got in, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. However, we joined in their 5th year. And with 10, if you're not in your 5th year yet, it's okay, hang around till your 5th year, because then you know what? You'll introduce the Mel and Amy Gill into your network, right? They'll come into the business in your 5th year, right? Okay? Can you have that vision a little bit? And when we joined, we had no idea that someday they'd call us millionaires. I didn't know, wow. I thought the only way I could be a millionaire is I got to win a lottery ticket or something, and had no idea. And so there'll be somebody joining your 10 network 5 years from now, and they're going to call them millionaires. They're going to call them millionaires. But right now, you are actually in the very first year, okay? And the power of that is unbelievable because I always used to say, oh, I wish I got in when he got in or she got in, the ones that were involved, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years prior to us because they were making this big money and stuff like that. But they said nobody believed us. You had no idea, in the first year it was like this and it was like that. And I can only imagine, they got so many more no's than everybody else. But what happens is that, now you're looking at the 10 business. Think about this very carefully. And this is what I mean by, I want to tell you about 3 things today when I'm talking. I'll tell you about a lot more, but I'm going to tell you about three key things that I think you should definitely understand. Number 1, pay attention. And pay attention to the small things that are being said, not just from me, but from all the trainers and everybody here today. Because you need to grab that golden nugget that you think you might have heard before that kind of gets into your mind twisted correctly this time, and all of a sudden your whole life changes, your whole business changes. So pay attention to the small stuff and the small things about this company that make it so unique and so different, okay? Number 2 is be excited. Be excited, because you know what? When you're excited, that universal energy that comes in, like I share with you, I just, Eric, Sophonia, Don Joseph, that is just pure excitement, okay? And you don't have to be good, you don't have to know nothing. People are just going to say, I just want to do whatever he's doing. I just want to eat whatever she's eating. I just want to, I don't care what it is, they're on something, And something good, right? And that's the easiest way to build a business right there. And the third thing that I'll tell you is, never quit. Never quit. Because I'll tell you, October 30th, so next month, just a matter of weeks away, right? October 30th, we celebrate 12 years for Team Effort. 12 years, right? Because we opened the doors, October 30th, 2002. October 30th, 2002, we opened the doors. So it's going to be exciting. We have our anniversary coming up on this upcoming October 30th, 12 years. But I can tell you that, without sharing with you the story from the beginning, because we're not going to eat up the whole 6 hours, I'll share with you that, because I can go back to 1989, and some of you heard the story from 1989, right? And you're still here. So I can tell you the story from 1989, but I just want to kind of fast forward. But when we opened up the doors in 2002, everything was against us. Everything, okay? And we had no business to be doing business. Because in 2000, we had never owned a network marketing company before. We'd never been a big business owner before, never been a CEO before, never, none of that stuff. You know, we didn't even know where to start. We were pushed into a circumstance. Some things in life happen because of a good idea, or you have an ambition to be a millionaire, or this or that, and other things happen in life just because you're pushed into a circumstance. And so there's a lot of circumstances around it, but you know, we started with my father, my wife, myself, and our partner Karen. And she's a phenomenal person, still a great friend even to this day. But she was our partner in the business at that time. And when the company started, she said, "Mel, you're going to be the CEO." And I said, "CE what?" And I said, "I've never CEO'd anything before. There's no way that you guys are going to put me in that position." And you know, I'm not a corporate guy. That's not me. And you know, she said, "No, Mel, you know, you speak from the heart. People believe in you. They follow you. They love you. You know, you need to be the guy on the front line." And she had come from a manufacturing background and you know, from a big family business in Nebraska and stuff like that. So she said, my role's back here." And I said, "All right, Karen." And then, you know, Amy had, you know, just like, what the heck is going on here? And then there was my dad, who just, you know, every step of the way helped push us along. But I'll tell you what, is that everybody told us, there's no way, no way, no way, okay? Just like, you know, and you have to look at this as you as distributors. People tell you, no, 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 or you tell yourself, no, I don't know if I can do this. I don't think, you know, I can do this. I don't know. I've never done that before. I'm scared, or whatever, okay? And so when I look at the company, we've gone through everything that you can imagine since 2002. But I remember we went through so much since 1989 as distributors. And so it was the same kind of thing, you know? And in life, you go through things, right? You can't predict. You don't know what's going to, I didn't know I was going to have jet lag. You know, you don't know what's going to happen. You have to just go through life, and it comes at you, and it's how you handle it when it comes at you, right? Okay? And so I knew that we had handled all kinds of interesting things on our road to success as distributors with our team. And in 2002, when we started, and they told us, you don't have the money to do this. 99.9% of the companies that started network marketing don't make it past their first year, you know? And the second year, forget about it. You don't have the people around you. You don't have the employees. You don't have the consultants. You don't have the attorneys. You don't have the accountants. You don't have nothing. And you definitely don't have a business background. And all I knew was that, you know what, I had a multi-million-dollar distributor background. I knew how to do that, okay? And one thing I learned over the years before the company opened up is what was the most important part of the company. You know, we'd seen so many companies come and go that had this billion-dollar management team that were out of business, that had this incredible product that could do these crazy things and put you on the moon that went out of business, that had this compensation plan that was so amazing that went out of business. And I saw all those companies come and go over the years as we grew our business and went full-time and big-time, and our team went full-time and big-time and everything else. And I knew when we opened the doors what the most important piece of the puzzle was. And that was us, the people, the leaders, the distributors. So I knew if we put that in the forefront, then we know how to create a compensation plan around that, right? That's not for the big buildings, for the management team, for the investors, not for all that, you know, not for the board of directors, not for paying some people to get paid $300,000 a year to travel the company as an executive VP of this and a VP of that and a big corporate team. That's what all the other companies might do. We said this is a family business, and we've got our friend Karen, we've got Amy, we've got my dad, and we've got Mel, and we're going to run it like a family business. And people say, well, that's not going to, the family thing's not going to work. You know, you need to have this kind of investors, this kind of management team, this kind of board of directors, this kind of, you know, corporate team around you, these kind of consultants, these kind of attorneys, and all this other stuff. And I said, that's all good to build the big building, but it's not about the people. Nobody said the people. And so we knew that if we built the product around the people, we built the comp plan around the people, making the most important part, what we knew was, and that was our team, the distributors. And that's where the name came from, team effort, right? So it was easy to name the company, you know, because it was about the team. It was about the most important product. And so when people say, how are you guys paying out that much? That's ridiculous. You know, you can't do that. It's because we're not doing business like you guys are over there. Our priorities are not that. Our priorities are all of this, right? And so that's why we definitely do have the highest payout in the entire industry. Nobody can question that. Everybody that's got a pencil, a calculator, and a pen will know, just do it, do the math. It's the highest payout in the entire industry, no question, right? So, then you look at the other side of this, and remember I said pay attention to these small things. Another small thing is the fact that this is a binary. Binary compensation plans in the last 10 years are the most explosive, most fastest, most, immediate impact. And as Americans, we all want immediate results, microwave results, as much as we can, as quick as we can, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Right. So, the compensation plan built around not having all the hoops to jump through, all the barriers to jump through, all the other things that these great binary compensation plans have. They say, okay, if you need to get to Ruby, you need to do a little bit more than sponsor 2. You need to have this much volume. If you want to go to Emerald, you've got to do this many, more legs added in there, personal sponsor. If you want to go to Diamond, you've got to do blah, 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 blah. And those were all the kind of what I call them gotchas on the way up that ladder of the compensation plan that you didn't study in the first place or in the beginning. Well, I'm very happy and very proud and very excited, and we just built this way in 2002, is we left out all the gotchas, okay? We left out all the hurdles. We left out the global ambassador bonus where you get $500 million when you're the master of the universe of the company, or whatever those things are, right? We left out all of those things. And so the way we made it is the guy or girl that sponsors 2 can go all the way to 10-star and do the exact same thing that the guy or girl that signed up 3 days ago is doing, right? 2 people fully qualified all the way to the top. No hoops on the way, no barriers on the way, nothing to jump through on the way, straight to the top. And so if you ask our 10 stars today in our other division, successful around the globe, how'd you get there? What else did you have to do? How much more volume? How many more people did you... They had to do the exact same thing as the person that joined 2 days ago. All the way to the top. All the way to the top. That's it. It's as simple as that. So, knowing that gives everybody the same chance. You ain't a superstar. You ain't got to be a superstar. When I came into this business, what got me, I had no idea what they were talking about. I mean, I'd never heard of network marketing, never heard of Amway, never heard of nothing. I was 21, right? Amy was worse than me. At 19, she doesn't know, right? But what I did know is when the testimonials came up, game over. That was it. Because I just said, man, that dude is not better than me. Because they had some clowns going up there, but they were collecting big checks. So I said, man, if that cat can do that, somebody teach me this. Somebody teach me this. And that was it. And that was it. And from that point, here's how we built the business. Simple, duplicatable. Because then I remember what got Amy, is that we were able to say in that room at 19 and 21, we can do this. And we could not say that if we saw that fancy presentation that we didn't understand, the products that we couldn't really super relate to, at that time, and all these guys with fancy backgrounds that were doing all this discussion and doing the meeting and stuff like that, we didn't relate to none of that. If they didn't do the testimonials, we would have walked out of that room, or, I don't know. But there was 2 things. The timing was right in our life. We were at the right time. We had a newborn baby, and we had no jobs. we needed something in our lives to raise this baby, and the timing was right? But the second thing was, we walked out saying we can do this. And so I'm telling you right now, the people say, well, send me the corporate PowerPoint, or, I need, the professional presentation and this and that and that. I said, I can do all that, But that's the slow way to build a business. If you want to go the slow way, we can go the slow way. And we'll get you the corporate PowerPoint, okay? The fast way to build this business, pay attention. The fast way to build this business, real simple, it's testimonials. It's testimonials. That's it. You know? If you got everybody's pictures, you know? I mean, you heard the testimonials today? Take a picture of them and put them in a flip book. Because then when you're talking to somebody, you say, hey, you know what? That's what happened to that person on the product. That's what happened to her on the product. That's what happened to him on the product. That's what happened to that. Okay? Then you got your other book. Oh yeah, this guy, you know, quit his job. This person's already making $300 a week. They've been in this long. This person just hit 1 star. You know, this person just look at the red Mercedes that Precy picked up, or look at the red Mercedes that Pastor Denise picked up. I mean, you know, that's the testimonial, right? What's up with the red Mercedes? Is people like the red Mercedes? And Maureen got the red interior. I like that. It's nice. So, you know, as you're building the business, that's a big, big hint. You complicate it, you make a fancy presentation, you do all that cool stuff, your business is going to go very, very slow. Okay? And I've never believed that slow and steady is fun. It's fast than it is to build it slow. And you want to build it fast, you just use those testimonials. And here's the beauty of the company right now, is we've got tons and tons and tons of testimonials. Tons of testimonials. And actually, the last 6 months, that's all it's been about. So I'm going to share with you today where you need to go from here towards our next event. And our next event is in Las Vegas. I'm sure some of you heard of that. How many of you would like to go out to Las Vegas? All right, no question. I mean, it's fun, it's exciting. But here's the deal. I want you to go to Las Vegas, you know, rich. And rich is, there's many forms of rich, but I like to use the acronym of residual income creates happiness, okay? Because I'm telling you right now, residual income creates happiness, RICH. You need your residuals up there in February, okay? So I believe it's the 3rd week in February. We'll be sending out company emails in regards to the event. But here's the thing. February is the 1-year anniversary, okay? Part of your pitch today, okay? Mel and Amy helped create a lot of millionaires, right? And they joined their company in the 5th year. We get to join in the 1st year, okay? The power of the whole presentation is the fact that we're borrowing the compensation plan from a company that's at 12 years old. We're borrowing the employees of a company that's 12 years old. We're borrowing the infrastructure, the attorneys that worked with us for years now, the accountants that have worked with us for years now, the whole base and infrastructure that's gone through every single up and down for 12 years. We're borrowing that debt-free financial powerhouse of success as the foundation to kick off this company in its 1st year. That's a strong pitch. You know, so when I tell people what's unique about this opportunity, and I'm talking about not the product now, the opportunity, I'm saying you have all the upside potential of a ground floor opportunity without the downside risk. Now there's a lot of network marketing companies that start and stop and whatever. You can get in at the beginning, which is nice, right? You want to get in at the top of the beginning, right? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay. However, with every other company, it's marked with a bunch of question marks. Question marks, question marks, question marks. Will the compensation plan really pay like they say it's going to pay? Will somebody really become a millionaire with that compensation plan? Will the product really stand up? Who is the management team? How do we know the owners are not going to leave 6 months from now to Barbados and Jamaica with all the cash? Right? All those question marks. I don't care how good that opportunity sounds. At the startup phase in the 1st year, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. So you should be a little bit scared with a pre-launch brand new startup company. Yes or no?
Yes.
For all those reasons. There's a startup, pre-launch, brand new company in its first year called TEN.
That's right.
That does not have any of those question marks.
Yeah.
Because that question mark about the owners running off with the cash, that was back in 2002. They asked us that question, right? That question mark, is the company really going to pay out millions of dollars and make millionaires? That was answered years ago. The question mark about, do they have the expertise with the attorneys and the employees and all that stuff was answered years ago. So all those question marks used to be there, right? So with 10, since you're using all that same foundation of 12 years, it's a brand new startup, ground floor company. You get in at the top with 0 question marks. You have all the upside potential with 0 downside risk. Now let me tell you something about it. Okay. Let me tell you something about the mission and the focus and what people don't get. Okay. You know why they don't get it? Because they didn't pay attention. They didn't pay attention, right? And we've had many people that have started off strong and they're doing good things and they're making some money and stuff like that, but they forgot to pay attention to the small stuff. And that's the story here on who this company is, okay? They didn't pay attention, okay? They didn't like the fact that we get excited. See, I'm a little bit toned down today. But once you get me going, you guys have seen me before. You guys have seen me before. And the third thing is that they were not supposed to quit. Okay? They were not supposed to quit. And I want to tell you, let's talk about 10 here. Not just distributorship, but just 10 here. Okay? 10 came about. 10. Here's how 10 started. Okay? We have those of you that are here. How many people are hearing me for the first time? Okay. So you know that for the last so many years we have a division called MVT. That's the acronym for My Video Talk. That has been spinning around the world in many countries. That is best thing I can say about it. I mean, I'm not here to tell you about we're this and we're that, but I can tell you that we've changed thousands upon thousands of people's lives around the globe, okay? With the company, with the compensation plan, with the story, with the strength and everything that we've been doing. And so over the years, as that database has grown larger and larger and hundreds of thousands of distributors around the world and stuff like that, we've been approached by every kind of product. And people would send us this product that'll grow your hair overnight. This miracle pill that'll help you get taller, These pair of tennis shoes, that'll be the last shoes you'll ever own because you'll never break down. The super coffee that'll make you run faster than Usain Bolt. The miracle juice, that you'll never have to sleep again. You'll be up 24 hours a day every day, right? That miracle juice. So, companies, manufacturers, scientists, doctors, formulators, they send us this stuff all the time. For years, because they feel like we're the lottery ticket for them, right? I'm sure other different market companies get the same stuff. Because they feel like, man, these guys have 400,000 distributors, and if I get my product in there, I got the lottery, right? Could make sense for that. So we've always said no, because all the products seem gimmicky. Or they'd be good for now, but what about a year from now, 5 years from now? Where is this? And remember what we stand for, because I'm telling you, I'll be selfish. It totally changed my life, and that's RICH, residual income, right? That's what gives you freedom. Freedom, because your bills are paid, you can sleep at night, and the money never stops. That sounds pretty good. That's residual income. And so if you don't have a product that goes the distance, and you don't have a vision with that, and the expansion of that, and the longevity, you know what I'm saying? You don't have residual income, right? And so we always said, no, 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 no. But our background, you know, as we joined network marketing, our background comes from health and nutrition, right? Because those are the products we start with. We start with personal care products, health and nutrition products. With the company, even though we were the distributors that didn't do all the doctor talk, we went to all the training meetings that had the doctors in them. And so I'll tell you, man, I don't have a PhD on paper, but I know as much as any doctor at this point. And it's only because for 24 years, I was paying attention to all these doctors that were educating us on nutrition and well-being and health and fitness and everything else, right? And so, coming from the health background and nutrition background, because that's what we started with in network marketing with personal care, we knew that that is the biggest and the best place to be in network marketing, okay? However, our product line was a communications product, or is a communications product, technology product, communications product. So we felt like, man, we missed out on that, even though they're sending us these juice bottles and these pills and this coffee and all this other cool products. And we just kept saying, no, 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 until we saw the spray. And then we said, we know nutrition, okay? And when they showed us the D3, that was amazing, because then Amy right away spoke up, and she said, I know what that is. And it was because 3 years prior to that, our son, Austin, was at the pediatrician, and the pediatrician, medical doctor, we never heard of medical doctors pushing vitamins, said that, Austin definitely needs to get on D3. And Amy said, what's that? And so the doctor said, okay, this is why he needs it, this is why you should have it, this and that's that. And he wasn't actually pushing it, but my point is that when the medical industry is noticing that, hey, it's important, that's a great thing. Yeah. And so he just said, yeah, no, I'm not going to write a prescription or anything, just go to the grocery store and pick up some D3. Yeah. So, Austin was on the chewable, sweet, sugary D3 tablets or pills or chewables or whatever they are. And so when they showed us the D3 spray, she was like, I already know what that is. Right. My son's got it, right? Yeah, right? And so we took home the sprays, and right away we had a vision. We were like, our kids need it. This is something cool and interesting. Right. What does it taste like? What does it mean? Why is it in this fine mist spray? Is it more effective on the body that way? And so when we put it together in our mind and put all the pieces of the puzzle together, we were like, hands down, if this is true, we can go all the way. And, we have our son Austin, who's 12. And then we have baby Gigi, who's 5, right? And it's all from one wife, baby maker here. I'm very proud to announce too, because I can only say it this year, right? We just celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary. So 24 years of building the network marketing business together and 25 years of marriage. So you know that, timing was right. 24 years ago was our first year of marriage, and we just had the newborn and stuff like that. So, but let me get back on track here. What were we talking about? Oh, so Austin and the kids was in the spray. Here's what we noticed with the kids. We didn't need to tell them it was good for them. Baby Gigi was just picking it up because it was fun. It was cool, right? Yeah. And all of a sudden we saw a vision there that, man, we're not pushing it on our kids. Because even today, Austin will not eat anything green. So we got to push spinach on him at dinner, broccoli, asparagus, and he's like, I don't want, all right, I get a bite of steak and now throw some asparagus, I mean, that's a continual argument at dinner all the time. But you want to give your children good things, right? Right. And so we saw that they were picking up the vitamin D with or without us. And not knowing that it was good for them, they were spraying it. They were like, oh, this tastes good, or they saw it on the coffee table or the kitchen table, they were picking it up. I knew that we can give children great things, and they'll take it. Because most kids, like me, hate swallowing pills, right? And if you tell them it's good for you, they really don't want it, right? And now if we can get good nutrition in the children, no question about it, okay? And then we started to see the vision of the convenience of the vitamin sprays. The cool factor is there. The cool factor was there amongst the kids already, and even ourselves. But then the convenience to say, hey, you know what? I'm around town, and Amy, for 24 years tells me, take your vitamins, take your nutrition, you gotta, do this, do that, right? And I wasn't the guy that was gonna put this big jar of pills in my pocket, right? Or hang out with my buddies at lunch, and at the end of lunch, we're having lunch at the country club or wherever, and there's 4 or 5 guys around, and I'm saying, hang on guys, glass of water, let me open this thing and start popping these pills. I mean, is that convenient?
No.
It's definitely not cool around your homies, around your buddies, right? That's not something cool to be doing at the end of lunch. I mean, they don't want to do it, you don't want to do it, right? So the convenience factor to say, hey, you know what? There's my pen. And a spray. Right? And could I do this at lunch with my buddies at the country club and just go, okay, yeah.
Absolutely.
Right? They'll be like, what's up, man? Is that a breath freshener? What are you doing? Right? I'm already got conversation going, right? But it's not a bottle of pills, right? Right? Or a backpack with a juice bottle. I didn't bring the backpack with a juice bottle, right? So the convenience factor said, wow, this is unique. It's unique, it's fun, it's cool, right? And it's convenient. And then researched more and found out absorbability. Absorbability. That it's a fact that this is a better delivery system. And if we all of a sudden had a better delivery system that had this absorption rate, now we can actually get the vitamins that we've been told are good for us years and years and years. Now we can get it into our system, right? And if we can get it into our system, that's why people are going to get results. Right? Because now it's getting into the system. So they're getting the vitamin B, they're getting the vitamin D, they're getting the aloe vera, they're getting it into the system. Hands down, are you already seeing, if you were in my shoes, you'd be like, man, this is winning. And then we looked at the industry of network marketing. And there were companies doing hundreds of millions of dollars with the shakes. $1 billion with the shakes. And there was companies, somebody mentioned Shackley, good company, hundreds of millions of dollars with pills, Herbalife with the shakes, great companies, great products, right? And then we saw the juice bottle companies, and they're doing hundreds of millions of dollars with the juice bottles. And we're like, man, all these companies are doing this huge business in the nutrition industry, in network marketing, with powders, with shakes, with pills, with juice bottles, right? Okay? But now, what if all those companies, what if it was more convenient than a powder? What if it tastes better than the juice bottle? What if it was more unique than the pills? What if it was more absorbable and more effective? We said, who else is doing this? Who else is doing this? Who's running with this? They're running with the juice bottles, they're running with the powders and shakes, they're running with the pills, they're running with everything else. Who's doing this? And then you look at it as a businessman, because today I can tell you, after running the company 12 years later, I'm a super successful businessman CEO. I'm still a much better distributor, all right? I'm still a much better distributor, no doubt. So, saying to myself with a business hat on, the industry is 600 million plus, is going to be $1 trillion. The juice bottles are penetrating it, the shakes and powders are penetrating it, the pills are penetrating it, the sprays are not. There was no competition. No competition, right? So I said, it doesn't get any cooler than this. So now, finally, after so many years of people throwing coffee at us and powders at us and tennis shoes that never blow up and all that stuff, it was like, now we got some traction. Now we got something that's not a gimmick, that can go beyond a year, that can go beyond 2 years, that has a future, okay? And then I remember my training at Herbalife, and I remember that company started with 4 products, okay? Formula 1, Formula 2, Formula 3, and an energy. And I said, today they have hundreds of products. They started with their first $100,000 worth of sales back in 1980, right? Today, they're doing over $5 billion around the world, right? Right? The largest mover of health and nutrition. And so, I'm saying today they have hundreds of products. The future of us, starting with 4 products, and then turning it into 8 and 12, and someday there will be hundreds of products, just like that company, right? And that company successfully doing billions of dollars. New Skin, same story. They started in 1985 with a non-surgical facelift and a handful of products. Today they have hundreds of products, right? Serious volume. New Skin does, I think, over $3 or $4 billion. So the future of this was like, wow, we've got traction now in the nutrition industry, something that is unbelievable and that people can get real results on. And I'll tell you what, is that we started with that concept, and of course, just like in life, just like in my distributorship from 1989, just like in your business, just like in your job and every part of your life, is that it's never just like, right? As much as you want it to be, right? And the company, since 2002, from the first division, anything and everything that you can think of or that you've heard of that has happened to another network marketing company has happened to us. No question about it. I mean, I can see if we take up the 6 hours, I'll give you story after story after story, and you know what you're going to say? Dang, man, how did you guys get out of that? How did you actually bounce out of that? How did you actually make payday that Wednesday? How'd that happen? How'd that happen? So guess what? When 10 started, we started with what's called a soft launch, right? Okay? And we started with a lot of horsepower because we got this story I told you about, right? With this successful company, we're using their money and their comp plan and their infrastructure and that whole story, right? Okay? However, they forgot to tell the story correctly. And they forgot the story because they weren't paying attention. All right? And so we started off and we had a great formulator, right? And we had a master distributor. And we kicked off soft launch. And we had, people experiencing the product and getting familiar with the comp plan and stuff like that. But they weren't paying attention, in my opinion. They weren't paying attention. And so on the conference calls, they started off and they say, we've got D3, we've got D3, we've got the spray, we've got D3. And that was the story. And they never mentioned Mel and Amy. They never mentioned the company story, really. Okay? It was all about the D3, which is great. D3 is amazing. But I'll tell you what, you can bake a cake with an amazing ingredient in it. But what if you're baking that cake and you leave out one of the ingredients? Right? Doesn't taste good, does it? It might not even rise if you leave out the yeast, right? Right? Okay? So you have to have all the ingredients. You have to have all the pieces of the puzzle. And so they were leaving out all these pieces, right? So it was about the D3 and everything else. And so, we had a great product, great formulator, master distributor, people coming in the door. And you've heard today we had executive founding members in the room, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So during soft launch, yeah, give yourself a hand. You know why? Because you guys were paying attention.
Absolutely.
You guys were paying attention, and that's why you're here, Vicky Soto, because you guys were paying attention. And those of you that are founding members, let's give them. Okay, here's how you got to clap. You got to clap like you just got paid today $50,000 because Wednesday payday was a few days ago, right? So if you got paid $50,000, how are you clapping? Fourth quarter, 2-minute buzzer. All right, so that clap was for the founding members. Who was that clap for? Okay, so we ran a soft launch promotion, and guess what happened? We had a founding member promotion. Like if you became founding member, you get all the things in the comp plan, before my watch falls off here, you get all the things in the comp plan, but you also get $1,000 on top of it. That was hot, right? Yeah. So we had a soft launch event, and here's what happened at the soft launch event. 410 for TEN, the soft launch event. This is before we started even pre-launch. But at the soft launch event, guess how many founding members came across stage and picked up $1,000? 47. That was a cool scene because we had $47,000. $47,000. go out on stage. It went out on stage, right? And those of you in the room, you got your $1,000 on stage, right? So that 47,000, again, who are the founding members? All right. See, so you can borrow some money from these cats because they all pick up $1,000. So $47,000 on stage. So things were rocking and rolling. And it was all about, these great sprays, and we had D3, and we had the B product, and we were rolling forward and stuff like that. But see, here's what happens when people don't pay attention. They didn't understand what they truly have. And they didn't understand, pay attention, be excited, don't quit, okay? And so, as we were running the company, the master distributor decided to go on in a different direction, okay? And the formulator decided to follow the master distributor in a different direction, okay? So, can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Okay. Right?
We were there.
And it was that 10 is successful because of the D3 and the sprays. Yes, that was true, but it wasn't all true. Because how do you bake the cake?
With everything.
Not just the one ingredient, right? So when they went sideways, because they weren't paying attention, and I knew they weren't paying attention because on the conference calls, I didn't hear anything about our company track record, our background, who's the company, why this is going to be here the next 12 years, testimonials, exactly, all those other pieces, right? I just heard about D3 and how great it is and how great the sprays are and stuff like that, which is fine, but it was only one part of the story. So all of a sudden, the master distributor disappears and takes a lot of people because they think, well, ooh, that must be right, So the $47,000 on stage and everything else, a good chunk of those guys are gone, right? So the formulator says, hey guys, I'm going with them. So now it's like, then the rumors are floating. I'm not pointing at who's saying what. But they're saying, we're gone. This guy keeps talking about how he's so proud about they've never missed a Wednesday payday, right? For over 11 years, right? And he's always held that out there because I'm very proud of that. Right? And if you've been through what we've been through as a company, you would be amazed, shocked, and very proud as well. So they didn't think Wednesday payday is going to happen now, right? Okay. And then they thought, these guys ain't going to make it now because they don't have a distributor base, and they don't have a product and a formulator, and boom. So 10 never gets off the ground, right? Here's what they did not pay attention. And I had told the full story, the 1989 story. They hadn't paid attention. I told the story of how we started the company in 2002, but they didn't pay attention, and they did not understand that my attitude was, I've been there before. I've been there before, and we made Wednesday payday. I've been there before, and we got up out of the valley, right? I've been there before. They didn't know that I had the experience, and I already had the menu, and I already had the GPS to go right back up, right? They didn't know that. They didn't know that. They just thought it's like any other company. If the distributors go there, and the product and the formulators go there, the company's out of business. The company ain't gonna make it. And when I got on the conference calls and kept going, and this and that, then the rumors started to fly. Well, now that this great product is gone, these guys are just gonna, go to Malaysia and China and try and make a product, right? And that might make sense for another company, right? But we weren't in it to stay in business. Okay, that was, I mean, you know, if it was a startup, it was year one, with other companies, that might be an option, okay? And, you know, other companies would have to take that option. Because if they can't pay the overhead, they can't pay the employees, they can't pay the bills, they can't pay the distributors on Wednesday, they might have to do some stupid stuff like that, okay? But that was the rumor. They were like, they ain't gonna pay on Wednesday. But the second rumor was, well, now they're gonna come out with some product that they get cheaply made in Thailand or Malaysia or China or wherever. And so when we spoke with our attorneys and we spoke with, you know, our team, they were like, you know what? Okay, for the way you're paying out this comp plan and for your situation that you're in now and for everything else, you'll save a lot of money. You'll save a lot of money, and you can get this product made for less than half the cost of manufacturing and formulation if we do it over there. Okay? And so, you know, as a business person, somebody might think like that's the way to go. All right? However, okay, I give my kids this product, right? Okay? I use this product. The power of the product, okay? Residual income is not residual income if nobody reorders the product, right? Then you're in a sales deal, and there are plenty of network marketing sales deals is what I call them, not residual income, real network marketing, where the product gets reordered and consumed and reordered because people love it, okay? So I looked at that, and you gotta look at every obstacle in your business this way too. You gotta look for the opportunity. What's the open door? What's the positive in it, okay? You can focus on the dirt all day long, but you know what? Underneath that dirt, if you focus enough, you can go right down to the gold and raise up the gold. Okay? So when you're talking to your prospects and you're building your business, and this person, oh man, he came to the TTP and he's not joining and she's not joining, why are you talking about the dirt? Talk about the one that's got some more questions, that's ready to join, that's excited, right? That's the goal. Don't talk about the dirt, let's talk about the goal. And so I've always known, and I've taught my children this, focus on the positive, right? What's the positive? You know, my son's a good basketball player, but he didn't make the prime team this year. You know, and the first thing I said to him, because he was crying, he was on the steps, and he was just like, man, I tried so hard, I practiced harder than all those guys out there. I practice every day, I do this, I do that, I do that. I said, son, that door's closed now. What's the open door? Where are you going to do next, you know? And you have to look at life that way. And now, you know, showing him in that open door, I mean, he's back on it. He's, you know, he's watching more Kobe videos, more Michael Jordan videos. I'm like, you keep on going, you know? And do your thing and have fun and make it happen. And so, you know, back to yes, the product in China. So I said to Amy, I said, this gives us an opportunity at this very moment. Those people were controlling the idea of how the product should be. About, you know, and a great product, no question about it, right? And how the distributorship should run, you know? And one of those people told me this, you know, they said, you know, you're running a Mickey Mouse business. Wow. And so my answer, and this is right back like this. I'll say, man, last I heard, Disneyland was the happiest place on earth. To them when they, you know, when I said Mickey Mouse Company, well, you know, happiest place on earth. And so we moved forward, you know, from that point and took advantage of an opportunity. You know what the advantage of the opportunity was? Is to put the most amount of money, ideas, philosophies possible to add the horsepower to the product, right? And not save money and cut costs and make it over there in Cambodia or Thailand or whatever, right? We said no. Here's what we said instead. Put even more money back in the product, right? And you know, the vision is, someday soon, there'll be millions of these tubes being manufactured and formulated. right? So, I was born here, I was raised here, this is my home. Which economy should I help? It might cost us more because labor's more, ingredient, everything, formulation, everything we have to do here, it might cost us more, okay? It might cost us more. However, it's home. And if I can put more money as a company, as a team, we put more money here, right? Creating more production, more jobs, more everything here in the United States of America, right? Right? So we're willing to pay the more money. We're willing to pay the more money. Plus, we're going to go all out on the ingredients. You know why? Because the more money you put in the quality, quality, okay? Selfishly, what does that mean to you if the product has that super highest quality possible? To the company, it means we got to pay more. To all you in the distributorship field, it means that you are going to get the testimonials, right? And in the long term, yes, the company wins, as you win, right? And so if those of you that remember as we transitioned into the new product, some of you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a little hint that you might notice. Think to yourselves, those of you that were there at soft launch to pre-launch to launch, right?
Yep.
When we transitioned the product, did we ever have these kind of crazy testimonials?
No.
It was a great product, incredible D3, and I'd love to share the heck out of it with you. But all of a sudden, and people were seeing results, and great results, right?
Yep.
I mean, I love the product, it's a great product. But as we transition into the turbo boost, see, okay, those of you that might know a Porsche, okay, there's a huge difference between a Porsche and a Porsche Turbo. So if you're thinking of buying one, buy the Turbo. So this great product that we had to transition, okay, and we had to transition, and it was a blessing in disguise, but it was because some people didn't pay attention, okay? They thought it was all about the D3. They didn't pay attention. But that transitioning was a blessing in disguise because it gave us the opportunity to add the turbo boost. Right? So here's what the turbo's done for you and us as a company. It's given us outrageous testimonials. Because you combine high quality that we pay extra money for, and do we manufacture it out there? No, we manufacture it right here in the USA. Right? A product manufactured right here is higher cost, but also add on top of that the highest money we can pay for the raw ingredients and everything else we want to put into it, okay? But yet keeping the cost shareable and sellable to all of you, right? Because I know if the product is 60 bucks a tube, it's a little bit more of a conversation. It's a little bit more convincing to do, right? And is it easier to build this slow or fast? All right. So understand what you have in your hands now. After we add the turbo boost, we've got the last 6 months, what's been happening? Okay? The biggest story in this company has not been, we've got great stories on the comp plan. We've got great stories on the car bonuses. But what has been the biggest chunk in the last 6-8 months? The testimonials on the product. The testimonials on the product. Crazy. You know they're crazy. I mean, sometimes if you think to yourself, that just sounds unreal. But then it makes sense when you say this good stuff is finally getting absorbed. And if the highest quality is getting absorbed, and all this documentation on B6 and B12 and D3 and aloe vera finally makes sense because it's getting into our system. Yes or no?
Yeah.
All right. So now that you've got that, let me tell you what you got to look forward to the next 6 months. How many months till February? I don't even know. It's October, November, December. All right. So here's what you want to do between now and February. Now, I know we've been sitting a while, but please do yourself a favor Yeah, spray. You got to really pay attention now. In fact, if we get some music, everybody can stand up real quick. Stand up. Here's what you want. You want your blood circulating, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because now you're going to pay attention really closely. You know why? This is where we go from part-time to full-time. This is where we go from full-time to big-time. All right, check it out. Everything I share with you, everything I teach with you is really about what I was brought up with and what I was taught, okay? So from that bird's eye view, I'm telling you, there's 1 or 2 people in this room that are going to get it today, okay? Understand everything I just shared for the last, whatever it's been, 20, 30 minutes, right? Everything I've shared right there, knowing the full picture, that all the pieces of the puzzle. Now, we already know we've got a world-class, life-changing product, yes or no?
Yes.
Unbelievably yes, right?
Yeah.
More convenient, more cool, more fun, more easy to use, more absorbable. I can go on and on all day long. I pull out the sprays. It's the easiest thing that we've ever done, that we've ever talked about in nutrition. I've never seen any traction like this, any reorder rate like this in the industry, period. And you guys know it too. You know what's happening right now? Everybody that's in the company right now that's using the product, they're reordering on their own. On their own. Here's what you got to do in the other companies. And those of you that are networkers, you know me. Brazzers, you know what I'm about to say. Is that to qualify to the next level, you need to make sure you're on this many cases every month. Right? Right? You guys know that?
Yeah.
Thaddeus, you've been in the industry a long time, right? You know. You know, Don Joseph, you know, we know that in those other companies, right, to drive the marketing plan, you got to get a lot of product going here, and you got to be, you know, hey, if you're not on the super 8-case deal, you're not going to make the real money, or, you know, whatever, right? And you're duplicating all that, but it's being forced into the network. And people buy, why do they buy that much product? For the comp plan. You notice something right here? Nobody's buying extra space for the comp plan. You know why they're getting extra space? We have people that are buying, you know, 20, 50, 100 tubes, whatever, is because they're reordering for themselves and their customers are reordering for themselves. You know what I'm saying? That's called real residual income, real business. It doesn't mean that if everybody slows down on the comp plan and stops ordering 20 cases a month or whatever, my check's going to go down. What we got here is people saying, my 10-pack auto ship is definitely not enough.
Definitely.
So all of a sudden, guess what's happening in the comp plan? It's getting pushed up. I'm telling you right now, we just yesterday, you probably got it loaded onto your cards. You guys all got the residual income check? It's a fact right here. Since we opened up the doors from soft launch, from the people that didn't continue, from the pre-launch, this was the biggest month, and you guys got paid off. And it's not that all of a sudden we got this big rush of people joining. What is all happening? Consumption. Consumption was the most. And we hit the record, okay, since we opened up 10. So guess what's going to happen next month? My prediction? We're going to hit a record again. Okay? Because people are reordering the product. All right, so let's pay attention. You guys can have a seat real quick. So your blood circulation is rolling.
Yep.
So everything that I've been taught, I mean, as a distributor, that's it. I mean, this is what I used to train with my team all day long. You know, the right things to do. Because you know why? Too many times in network marketing, it's all the wrong things to do. You know, Amy mentioned, you know, that we're pretty shy by nature. I mean, you know, she's definitely not as shy as me. But here, I would never see myself, back in November 1989, talking to 3 people at once. I just, you know, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Okay? And at first, I thought that I have to wear a suit, shiny shoes, and become a professional speaker to make money in this industry. Okay? And all of a sudden, I saw that that's the slow way to do the business. Right? And I went back to, why did we join? If that fool can do it, I can definitely do it. That's why I joined. Right? So, write this down. Simple and duplicatable. Do you need a corporate PowerPoint? Yes or no?
No.
Yes, if you want to look cool, I guess. But not if you really want to make money. Right? You know? Because there's some people that join the business, like Barry Apple, that don't know what a PowerPoint is. So we don't want to close the door on Barry, right? I can joke with him because he's got the coolest jacket on in the room, man. All right, so check it out. The first 6 months, 8 months, whatever it's been now, okay, these products have driven an incredible amount of testimonials. Everybody agrees on that, right? Yeah. And they will continue to do so. You know why? The ingredients will never change, okay? The highest quality ingredients, the technology, the microspray technology, made in the USA, all that's never going to change, right? It's only going to get better because guess what's coming out? Product 6, okay? If cell energy wasn't enough, we got product 6. And I'm telling you right now, you got to use all these products. Because I don't know what's doing what to me anymore. I really don't. I really don't know what's doing what to me. All right? Now here's the case in point, okay? The last time I wore this suit was, I think, 2012, right? And I was a fatter guy. I was a fatter guy. And so, you know how everything pops up, you never know. I had the jet lag, right? And then when I went to, put on my suit, I found that it was missing a button right here that must have busted off when I was fatter in 2012. Right? But I knew that, this is a custom tailored suit. I don't have time to, it's 10 a.m. and I got to be at the meeting here at noon. And I ain't got time to, get the tailor to do this and do that. So, but I'm still showing up. My pants ain't falling off yet. All right. So then the next thing that happens is I'm tying my shoes, right? And these are kind of like, I guess they're made out of wax or something, these laces. And they're busted. And I'm thinking, man, Amy's just like, well, we'll just, run down the store and pick up some laces. And I'm thinking, you ain't gonna find these laces. I got these handmade in Spain. I don't mess around. These are gators. So we got to find an alligator in Spain. So when I talk to you guys later, you're going to see like, man, what happened to your laces? So I had to make a makeshift out of the wax laces. I'm still here. Right? See? This is the part that they didn't pay attention to, those guys that went this way. They weren't paying attention. That we've been through all of that as distributors since 1989, as company owners. Every story I can tell you, everything that's hit a company has already hit this company. And we had to bounce out of that. And we had to bounce back from that, okay? So, where am I going with all this? All right, so we're talking about, we got the product, we got the gators, what do we got? We got 6 product, residual income. All right. Perfect. The next, you got to spray for that. The next, that's the jet lag talking right there. That's the jet lag. The next, whatever months we got till February. Okay. We know what we did the first 8 months. Has it been 8 months?
No, 6.
On the products? Okay. Well, since February. What's February?
6.
All right. Since the launch in February, okay? And yes, I did get past 3rd grade. Not much more though, not much more though. All right, so check it out. The first so many months since we launched the company has been product results, testimony, which tells you our products are unquestionable. And they're only going to get better, and they're only going to increase as we go to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sprays, and so on, right?
Right.
Okay? As we go towards 5 billion, like the new skins, like the Herbalives, like the Shakleys, the companies that are doing big volume, right? Okay? That's the direction. And so, we already understand how good the product is. We already understand the results are there, and the results are going to get faster and bigger. But here's what else has happened. I remember at, 8 months ago, is we were talking about this car program, and nobody had a car, right? Remember that when we announced the LCQ? And I said, someday, somebody's going to get the Mercedes or BMW. And somebody hit that. And I said, someday, we'll be giving out 1 new qualifier a month. You notice that's been happening now? Okay. Someday, once a week, somebody's going to get the Mercedes and BMW, right? Someday, once a day, it's going to happen, right? So that's already progressing. So we already have the testimonials that people say, look, that residual income car program works, and it's the easiest in the industry. So that's all working, okay? Here's what needs to be now, between now and February. You, that's what needs to happen. You. And here's what needs to happen with you, okay? You need to be a super success. You need to be a super success for you and your family. You need to take advantage of what everybody was sharing over here, that you're in at the beginning, that you're in at the top, right? And that you aren't planting this tree 20 years ago, right? You've got the chance right now, right? So you need to focus on you. Number one, what do you want for you and your team happening this upcoming February, which is about 5 months away, right?
Right.
Celebrating the 1-year birthday of 10. It's the 1-year birthday of 10. We're ready to go all out. Go all the way. You know, we've had some fun parties with the other division. You know, we had the top suite, you know, from the entertainment channel, the Hugh Hefner suite, 6,000 square feet. For our other division, we hosted the VIP party up there, right? Jacuzzis, the view of the entire Las Vegas. I mean, it was just like 6,000 square feet of madness. It's that one that you see on the Travel Channel with the bowling alley and all that stuff, right? All right? And I believe we're the first network marketing company that had done that at that time. And it was an unbelievable party. I mean, you know, pictures, black tie, everybody wearing tuxedos, all that stuff. So, is it going to be bigger and badder for 10?
Oh, yeah.
It's the 1-year birthday party. You got to go all out on the 1-year birthday party, right? Okay? Who are you going to be there? Are you going to be an LCQ? Getting your new BMW, Mercedes?
DCQ.
Are you going to be a DCQ? Getting the Big Daddy Beamer or the S550 Benz?
Tesla.
Are you going to be a 1-star? Are you going to be with 4 other people on stage getting keys on your team? Are you going to be a 1-star or 2-star with a 5-star in your organization as part of your team, right? What is your recognition on stage in February? Serious recognition, okay? Why are you paying a car payment right now when 10 is telling you every day they'll take care of your car payment, but not the car you're driving? Get rid of the car you're driving, because, you know, let's say your household bills are $4,000 a month, okay? If you don't have a car payment, is your household bills less? And that's what's happening with people in 10, is they're lowering their monthly overhead, right? But somehow they have a Mercedes sitting in the driveway. But their overhead got lowered, but they got the Mercedes. You see what I'm saying? Does that even make, you see what I'm saying? Get rid of your other car and the payment, and let the company pay for the new Mercedes, BMW, or now we have Tesla, right? So, that's real. And I'm going to show you how easy that is in just a moment. But you got to see it real for you and your team. Write down your goals, set your goals. And I'm going to tell you about something, remind me to tell you this, that's going to help you accelerate that over the next few months, okay? And so, is there somebody going to remind me? Because you know, all right, somebody remind me of that before I wrap up. Okay, just call it acceleration. So, here's what you got to do. You got to do a shift. From whatever you've been doing since we launched, okay, and everything we've been doing has been incredible, and the testimonials on product will continue. The car, you got to keep shooting for those with all your team, but you got to make a shift. And the shift has to be this. You have got to now start running fast, okay? You have to go all in with the business. You have to be the one that has the speed of exposure right now. When are you going to do it? Now. You got, do it part-time. Nobody should quit their job early, okay? Let the income from here, because we pay every, what, Wednesday? And we never miss, even though everybody said we might, right? Okay? And we'll continue to do so, you know? And here's what's exciting, is that we pay weekly so you can gauge your success. As soon as your income starts to match what's happening at your other job or your other business, you make the decision. I mean, a lot of you, if you really love what you do at your other position, your job, obviously you're going to continue doing that and do this on the side or whatever you want to do. But this is your residual income. Means that the money doesn't stop and you get to fly around. I mean, I'll tell you right now, first time we made $100,000 a month, I remember that month we had taken a vacation to Hawaii, right? And we said, well, it was time to come back after a couple weeks. And we said, no, let's stay a third week. And we had the freedom and the ability to do that back then, right? Okay. So we took advantage of that and stayed an extra week. And by that time, that company used to pay us monthly. The new month's check came in on the 22nd of the month. And I opened it up. And I said, wait a minute. Okay. We've been missing for 3 weeks. Didn't do nothing. Missing for 3 weeks, right? But the check is bigger than last month when we left. How did that even happen? Right? You felt like being overpaid at that time, right? Okay? And some of you heard the 1989 story, so I won't tell all that, but I will give you the message of that. Is I remember our first month in the business when we worked the hardest that we've ever worked. And we didn't really understand how the comp plan pays and how it all worked. But we opened up our check in our first month of business. And it was...
If you don't say it, we'll say it.
$16.87. And at that time, what was my reaction? I wasn't like, oh man, I'm getting overpaid. My reaction was, we've been scammed.